Hello, this is me91, and I'm bringing you a video on the newest Flash episode. I think it's called All-Star Team Up or Super All-Star Team Up. And what I liked about this episode, what I thought, when the name of the episode, I thought it may have meant that, Arrow and them were going to be in it. But I kind of like how it's just Felicity, because it shows how this universe, not everybody from a show, or not the main character doesn't have to cross over from a show for it to be like, because if they're all in the same universe, or at least if they're trying to make them look like they're all in the same universe, it makes sense that sometimes a side character would visit another character. Sometimes it doesn't have to be this main character, and sometimes it's a good thing just to bring the side character along. It's a good thing if, like, Spider-Man was just hanging out with like Falcon, even though Falcon isn't really a side character. He does help Captain America, but he's not really a sidekick in a sense. But anyway, I was just saying, it'd be good that it doesn't have to be one of the main characters that visits another hero's universe. Well, they're in the same universe, but visits another hero's place or something like that. That's what I'm saying. And it's good that they had the Atom in here. It's good that I think that the Atom was a really great addition to the show. But there was one thing about this episode that I'm just gonna go over the whole, like, the way the episode made me feel, because the episode was like, it was both dead funny and dead sad at the same time, and that was kind of kicking you. It's kind of like ha 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 oh, because this episode, you see how Barry is dealing with just having to be, I guess, work with the guy who killed his mother, and you see how Cisco is dealing with remembering things that happened in the alternate timeline, and you see how Iris and Eddie really are just breaking up, falling apart at this moment. And what makes matters worse is that Iris's dad doesn't seem to care. I guess it's just that he cares more about his daughter living than he does about Eddie and his daughter's relationship. Which, by the way, you never tell the father. It was just so funny. Eddie's right there complaining to his father, "We haven't had sex in 2 weeks." I don't care what type of father the girl got. I don't care how things have changed. You do not tell a father that you. I don't care if he even knows it or even presumes it. I mean, they're living together. I guess he presumes they're having sex, but you don't tell him that. You saw how he looked at him like, yeah, he's like, "I haven't had sex in 2 weeks," and Dad just looked at him like, "What did you say?" He's like, I mean, come on. He's your partner, but he's also your girlfriend's father. You don't tell him about how you're doing his daughter. Just don't say that. But anyway, like I was saying, with the whole him and Iris thing, it was sad. But then there were so much funny parts in between it. Like, Felicity's in the show. Felicity is funny. That's basically it. Felicity pops into a scene, she's automatically gonna be funny because she's so awkward. She is so like beyond awkward sometimes. She's and then Adam is also a great character, and he is also awkward. I loved when Caitlin Snow said there were two of them. But I digress slightly because I'm more talking about the episode here. What I do like is that this episode really kind of is seems like bringing things not to an ending, but things to a much closer than they should be. Because now, especially how it ended, which, yes, spoiler alert, how it ended with Barry telling Cisco and Caitlin how Dr. Wells is the reverse Flash. But I'll get back to that later. I love how they brought back the woman who was in the old Flash episodes, the professor. I like how she was there. I like how this show doesn't just bring him back for one-day cameos. Like, Henry Allen, who was the Flash in the, I think, the 90s or the 80s series, he is Barry Allen's father, and he's in more than one episode. And then they had the girl who I think she played, I don't know which part she played, but she played someone who worked at Star Labs in the old Flash, and they brought her back as the professor in the new Flash, and she came back for this episode too. So I'm glad that they don't just have these people come in for one cameo and then that's it. But it is the episode itself, even though it kind of it was very fast actually, and it really did things to reveal. Like I'm sure they're gonna have to explain how Cisco can remember the alternate timeline. My guess is that he died because he died. Well, we know he died, but my guess is that because he died and he came back and he kind of cheated death, that his brain is kind of like remembering both things in a sense. Yeah, I guess it's that. Be funny if it was because of the brain freeze that morning, but I doubt that's it. But anyway, one thing about Eddie Thawne, which I want to kind of focus on right now, Eddie Thawne, they're really bringing him more to a center of attention, because he's becoming more than just Iris's boyfriend, who Barry was trying to like the man who was stealing Iris from Barry. But if you guys recall, I thought he was Cobalt Blue. Now, I still think he's Cobalt Blue, but let's just work on two theories that I'm kind of working on here. Let's just say, I know that some people think that Eddie is also Hunter Zolomon, but I don't think so, but let's just work on to those theories. Let's say, all right, one theory, he's Cobalt Blue, who is Barry's twin brother. The other theory is he's Hunter Zolomon, who's the second Flash. He's supposed to be Wally West Flash, right? All right. Now, if he is Hunter Zolomon, this whole Iris thing may actually be like the whole Hunter Zolomon not liking Wally West, because think of it, if him and Iris do break up, that would mean that he could potentially blame Barry Allen or the Flash for their breakup. Why could he blame him? Because come on, he's protecting the Flash's secret. And he loses his girlfriend, who the Flash also is in love with, who he knows, or at least I think he still knows that the Flash is in love with. And he may end up thinking, was this your plan all along, Barry, to cause me to lose Iris? Or something like that? I don't know. I'm just saying, they may be setting it up for that. But if he's Cobalt Blue, which I still think he is, they may be setting it up, because if he knows, let's just say, if he is Cobalt Blue and he knows that Barry is his brother, right? Because he loses Iris because of Barry, he may be even double mad, especially if Barry starts dating Iris. Let's just say next season Barry starts dating Iris and Eddie's like just there, and he's like, because in the comics, Malcolm Thawne didn't like the fact that because he was being mistreated by his family because he was adopted and he didn't have their blue flame power, and when he didn't like that his brother was getting everything that he did, he basically was jealous of his brother. Basically, let's just go with that. This could easily lead to jealousy on his part, because he could be like, Barry, you had the real parents. You weren't bullied when you were a kid. You weren't blah, 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 even though Barry did lose his mother as a child. So I don't know if you could say that Barry had no bad things happen to him as a child. Obviously, you can't say that. But he could really turn into an enemy. Either Cobalt Blue or Hunter Zolomon, but I really think it's Cobalt Blue. I don't think it's Hunter Zolomon. I don't think they would bring another Zoom on the show. I just don't think they need that. And Hunter Zolomon is supposed to be Wally West's villain, so please, I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to really give Barry Allen all of Wally West's stuff. They already gave him Wally West's future wife. So, and even though he broke up, it's still. So, all I'm saying is that I don't want that to happen. Anyway, I've spoken about Eddie Thawne a bit too much. But the rest of the episode, Captain Atom, I love how they hint all these things. Like Captain Atom saying the key was to get smaller, because we know he eventually has to shrink. And I also love how I do like it, but they went a little overboard with the whole, it's a bird, it's a plane. I'm like, come on. Because the minute she said, is that a bird? I'm like, oh no, they're going to have someone say that's a plane. Because come on, they had to reference Superman in this, didn't they? Even though it's Captain Atom. He's like, and Cisco, I'm like, come on, that don't look like a plane. Cisco saying it's a plane, come on. That's just the obvious, we wanted to reference the episode, Superman. Also, Felicity, even though she could be referencing Oliver, she could also be referencing Batman. Because he said, what is with billionaires becoming superheroes? Because she could, even though she mean Oliver, I think she did mean Oliver, but first time I heard that, I was thinking Batman. I don't know whether they're trying to give these hints because Batman vs. Superman, I think, is coming out either this year or next year. So they may be trying to give hints, they may not be, I don't know. But in the end, they are doing all these little tidbits here that kind of show other superheroes in the DC universe, which is good because they're trying to say that this is a universe. They seem like they're trying to finally get it together where they actually have these shows that actually connect and that they're actually the same universe. Anyway, that's basically all I had to say about this episode, because in truth, the bee lady, let's face it, she was more of a side story. The villain in this episode really wasn't focused on that much. Sure, she kills two people close to like at the beginning, basically. Then she goes after the professor, and they really don't focus on her that much out of the whole episode, so I don't have much to say about her. I mean, the way she killed people was different, but at the same time, she really didn't bring much. But I do love how she and Felicity were like how Felicity said that was her arch nemesis. And Felicity stands up and goes, drop the mic. Like, I'm like, Felicity. I tell you, Felicity is just funny. When she enters the room and she enters the show and she's just funny. Because they did give Felicity that nemesis and they were like fighting. Like, I'm like, yes, this is good. That was nice. But at the same time, the villain just wasn't the focus of this episode, in my opinion. Other than just being a distraction, her main seemed purpose for the villain to be there was that she had the bees, which Captain Atom is probably going to eventually use to make his suit smaller. That's all basically. That's her only other purpose there, basically. But I do like how, I think it was Joe, how he was saying that they may be loyal to Professor Zoom or Reverse Flash or Harrison Wells or Eobard Thawne, whatever you want to call him. And basically, I'm thinking that this kind of may have hinted to Caitlin Snow, since she is supposed to end up becoming Killer Frost. So she may end up taking Wells' side. Who knows? We'll have to see. Anyway, other than that, that's all I had to say. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode. It was great to me, but like I said, villain wasn't the focus. And it did do good stuff. It did do stuff at the ending. Cisco's whole remembering alternate timelines was really good too, and I hope they really expand on what they saw in this episode. My rating for this episode would be a 9.0, and the 1.0 that's missing would be because the villain was basically just there just to be there. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and may God bless you all.